All right, my friends, buckle up because today we're diving into one of the most jaw-droppingly epic medical discoveries of all time. A story with drama, rivalries, dead dogs. Don't worry, I'll explain, a Nobel Prize fight, and even a dash of betrayal. Oh yes, this is the history of how insulin, the hormone that literally saves millions of lives every single day, came to exist in medicine. And let me warn you, it wasn't as simple as, oh hey, here's sugar, here's insulin, let's cure diabetes. No. This was a messy, dramatic, slightly crazy roller coaster that spanned centuries. So, grab a snack, preferably not a cupcake. You'll understand why later. And let's rewind the clock.
Hey, welcome to Cartoon Clinic.
Picture this. Thousands of years ago, ancient Egypt, people in robes, pyramids in the background. Doctors back then weren't exactly rocking stethoscopes. They were more like, let's taste your pee and see what happens. Yes, I'm not joking. The first clue about diabetes came from people literally tasting urine. Because diabetes, untreated, makes sugar levels skyrocket and the sugar spills into urine. So ancient docs noticed some people's pee was sweet. Hence the name, diabetes mellitus. Diabetes equals to siphon because of the constant urination, and mellitus equals to honey sweet. I told you this story was wild already. Imagine writing that in your medical notes. Patient urine tastes like honey. Ew. In India and China, healers also noticed the disease. Ayurvedic doctors described it as honey urine disease. And they noticed something else. It often affected wealthy people who ate a lot of rice and sweet foods. So in some ways, they already knew diet was connected. Okay, fast forward. Middle Ages to the 1800s. Doctors still had no clue what caused diabetes. Some thought it was the kidneys leaking sugar. Others thought it was the stomach malfunctioning. One guy thought it was because of sadness, like literally too much heartbreak. Now here's the thing. For centuries, diabetes was a death sentence. If you had it, especially type 1 diabetes, your body couldn't use sugar. So instead, it would burn fat uncontrollably, producing ketones, and eventually leading to something called diabetic ketoacidosis. Back then, without insulin, kids and young adults just wasted away. No treatment, no cure. Doctors basically said, sorry, we'll try some diets, but yeah. And these diets were brutal. Like one famous doctor, Frederick put patients on starvation diets. Imagine living on 400 calories a day, some broth, maybe a few almonds if you're lucky. Basically, the treatment was, let's starve you slowly, instead of you dying quickly. Uplifting stuff, right? But then, science started to advance. By the late 1800s, microscopes got better. Chemists were analyzing urine. They figured out the real problem was sugar wasn't being used properly by the body. And then came the pancreas. Fast forward to the early 1900s. Scientists had started realizing diabetes had something to do with the pancreas. The pancreas is this weird organ in your belly that looks like a lumpy worm and hides behind your stomach. A German scientist named Oskar Minkowski did this experiment where he removed the pancreas from a dog, and the dog suddenly developed diabetes. Pee everywhere. Classic sign. So bingo, the pancreas was the key. Somewhere in there was the magic stuff controlling blood sugar. But the problem? The pancreas does a lot of things. Digestive enzymes, juices, and somewhere in the middle, the islets of Langerhans. These tiny clusters of cells were believed to hold the secret sauce. The hormone, the missing piece. The challenge? How to extract it without it being destroyed by all those nasty enzymes. And now, enters our hero. It's 1920. In Canada, a young surgeon named Frederick Banting can't sleep. He's reading a medical article about the pancreas, and suddenly he scribbles in his notebook. Tie up the pancreatic ducts in a dog. Wait for the digestive enzymes to waste away. Isolate the islets. Extract internal secretion. Relieve glycosuria and diabetes. Boom. 2 a.m. genius idea. Like when you suddenly think of the perfect TikTok concept while brushing your teeth. Except this one was about to change medicine forever. But Banting wasn't a lab scientist. He needed backup. So he marched into the office of J.J.R. MacLeod, a physiology professor at the University of Toronto, and basically begged, "Give me a lab, Give me an assistant and some dogs. I think I can crack diabetes." McLeod wasn't impressed at first, but eventually, he gave Banting a small lab, some animals, and a medical student named Charles Best to help him. And oh boy, the experiments began. Banting and Best worked day and night. It was messy, heartbreaking, and honestly, not pretty. They operated on dogs, tied up their pancreatic ducts, and waited weeks for the enzymes to degenerate, hoping to extract the magical secretion. And then, after a lot of failed attempts, they managed to keep a diabetic dog alive with their extract. The dog perked up, stopped peeing sugar, wagged its tail again. This was the eureka moment. They called the extract Altin, which we now know as insulin. But the stuff was still crude. They needed someone to purify it. Enter James Collip, a biochemist, who managed to make a cleaner version safe for humans. And in January 1922, history was made. A 14-year-old boy named Leonard Thompson, dying from diabetes, received the first injection. The first attempt wasn't perfect. He had an allergic reaction. But after Collip refined it further, the second injection worked. Leonard's sugar levels dropped, he regained strength, and insulin officially went from theory to life-saving therapy. Now you'd think everyone would live happily ever after, right? Well, welcome to science. Nothing is ever drama-free. In 1923, the Nobel Prize in Medicine was awarded, but only to Banting and McLeod. Banting was furious. He believed Best deserved it, not McLeod. So he gave half his share to Best. Meanwhile, McLeod gave half of his share to Collip. So basically, Nobel Prize equals group project chaos. After that, insulin was mass-produced, first from pig and cow pancreases. Yes, people literally harvested tons of animal organs to make insulin. It wasn't until the 1980s that synthetic human insulin, made with recombinant DNA technology, came along. Today, insulin is one of the most essential medicines in the world. Millions of people with diabetes, especially type 1, rely on it to survive every single day. And it all traces back to Banting's late-night scribble in 1920. So next time you see someone take an insulin shot or hear about diabetes management, remember, for thousands of years, this disease was a slow death sentence. And then a young Canadian surgeon, a determined student, a skeptical professor, and a brilliant chemist turned that around. It's one of the greatest medical rescue stories of all time. A reminder that sometimes the world changes not with armies or kings or billionaires, but with a scribble in a notebook, a stubborn scientist, and yes, a very patient diabetic dog. And that, my friends, is the incredible history of insulin. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more wild, funny, life-changing medical history stories. Because trust me, there are plenty more where this came from. Stay curious, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.
Come take a peek. It's smart, it's fun, it's cartoon.